let's just start off and welcome everybody to another episode of Unbiased Sports Talk. Haven't seen y'all fellas in a minute. I've been MIA. We're gonna get right into the meat and potatoes. I think the hottest thing right now is going to be the NFL free agency. I would like to discuss, who do you guys think so far? Because free agency is not over, but of the first 3 days, tell me the teams that you think that won free agency so far. And tell me the teams after we discuss this that you think needs to definitely focus on the draft because they didn't do enough during free agency. So first, who won free agency, who lost, and who needs to do better in the draft? Anybody?
It's hard to start that off with who won because you said that they won.
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, I admire the amount of attention that Rodgers is still getting. The fact that he is almost negotiating that, hey, if I'm even going to look at your team, you need to get me here.
You need to get this. You need to get these
I need a number one. And with that being said, do y'all feel Odell could still be somebody's number one?
No, I think he's number two.
He's a number
Not
two.
to say he could not work himself back into a number one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's actually number one right now coming off the injury. I still think he's going to be a shell of who he truly is. I'm not to say that he could never be a number one, but right now he's not a number one.
I think if he comes to a team, I think he'd be a very good number two.
I mean, he could be a number one if your two is good. It depends on what you got.
Yeah, because there were times with the Rams he was number one, and Cooper Kupp was number two.
Yeah, I would say that. Would you say he was number one in the Super Bowl?
He was
about to got hurt. He was playing as a number one.
He was about to be. He was about to.
But when you got a 1A, 1B, that's a luxury to have. So I mean, look, you can be number one today. I can be number one tomorrow. To your point though, Marlon, I always felt that grading something blindly just because we just saw it is very hard to give a grade. Most of the grades should always come later in the end of the year. I mean, how well did that free agency? How did he pan out? How did he improve your team? Was he even healthy? Because at the end of the day, we could sit there and say, oh, they won the free agency, and then 3 of those dudes got injured. Remember one year we sat there and said the Raiders had the dream team with Asamoah and all these other, and that didn't pan out. So
because it didn't fit the scheme.
No, they had a squad, but the team didn't pan out. But no, he didn't fit the scheme. Yes. But they what you'd have thought with that team, they would have. It didn't even matter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at this list right now. It's right in front of me, just to see who's even still available. Do y'all think anybody's gonna pick up Thielen for some top dollars, or is Thielen on the back end of his grade?
He's on the
Adam
back.
Thielen. He's on the back end. I mean, he's 32 years old.
But he's on the back. He's on the back end because I don't know if you've ever heard the interview with Victor Cruz on the Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy when he started talking about it, and then Chad Johnson started talking about it on I'm Athlete. I think they systematically worked him out of the system of the offense. So I think he can be a good number two, but not as good as a number two as Odell. I think Adam Thielen would have to go to a team that there's not too much expectations of him, if that makes sense. Versus,
Okay,
would you say, Mom? My bad.
That was me. That was me. Go ahead, Ron.
Oh, so yeah, I think he would have to go to a team where there's not too much expectations of him. He just have to come out there and just do his job. Like if Mike Evans make moves, let him go to the Bucks, and then Godwin got to lead the way.
I see Thielen getting picked up by like a team that needs help. Like go to the Chargers. He needs weapons. Go to the Bills. You can be a really great number three. You can be a great number three and still have a career. But if you're trying to be a number two or number one, that might not fit the mold for you no more.
That sounds like the move for Jarvis Landry too.
Mo's about to join. Can I talk shit to Mo real quick? Yeah. No,
man. When you talk shit to Mo, man, it depresses me.
No. How is it, Mo? You run a 4.2 on the field, but you're the slowest to this goddamn pod.
Old age, man. Them hamstrings don't work that way no more, man.
And he used to run a 4.2. Because I damn sure don't think he's still running that 4.2. 4.3 high. He like, I still got the 4.3 for you.
No. Like 4.7, 8.
You lost it.
Lost all of it.
Hey, well, you jumped in at a good time. Asking the question about Adam Thielen, I kind of forgot. What's your thoughts on
I
Adam
was saying,
Thielen?
is he on the back end of his of his career essentially? He's
No,
32 years old.
Adam
He's
Thielen
like
is
free
definitely on the
agent.
back end. I think Adam Thielen is right now, he's a possession receiver, like in the, as we knew it in the old NFL, he's a possession receiver. He's not a catalyst for anybody's offensive arsenal. He is definitely a Robin to anybody that is of significance. I do think he still has value. When free agency first hit, me being a Giants fan and wondering how Sterling Shepard has more lives than a cat, you know.
Can we pause for a second?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know you was a Giants fan. I just wanted to say,
Oh yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, I'm a Giants fan. man.
You knew New York all the way, right?
All the way through.
Knicks. I'm Knicks with you. We got that.
Yes,
the
sir.
thing, you know.
See, you grew up in a good time area. See, I knew the Knicks because how can you not know the Knicks growing up in Brooklyn? But then, like when I really started watching football, it was like the greatest show on turf year. Well, the first Rams year, and then the next year the Giants made the Super Bowl versus the Ravens. So what my
y'all
first
beat us? Didn't y'all beat us?
That's the year that the Giants beat the
NFC Championship.
No, we beat Minnesota.
Right.
Minnesota beat Randy Moss.
the field goal.
Yeah.
Kyle Williams.
Field goals, yo.
You remember that Kyle
They
Williams?
are plagued by field goals, yo.
He touched the punt, remember? Y'all beat us in the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
And we robbed y'all for one when Jerry Rice had that fumble, but I guess y'all was due for it.
Yeah, it is. That's before my time in watching football. But like, being a Giants fan, I thought that he would be a good addition with the new, with the new regime and how they throw the football. But then, they went and did that Darren Waller acquisition. So, we was big hype. But Adam Thielen still got some gas left. He's just not the number one anymore. I think that in any system that he could play in the slot, like primarily, I think that's where his craftiness will come in because he doesn't have the long speed anymore. So you stick him in the slot and you can get some stuff out of him. Adam Thielen's not going to be he's probably like a 65 catch guy at best right now. 65, he's probably going to get like 10 yards a catch tops, average.
We're getting a little sidetracked with Adam Thielen, so I'm going to ask him the actual question. I think we all agree that he's at the end of his career, but he ain't finished.
No,
I think we all agree that he can still be somebody's 2 and a great 3.
Yeah.
The question was, Mo, who do you think so far the winners of free agency? We all agree that it's hard to tell someone's a winner when you ain't seen them even touch the field. But so far from just a depth chart standpoint, give me some teams you think won free agency so far.
Miami. I think Miami did well. I like Miami, what they did. As much as I hate to say it, I think Stephon Gilmore to the Cowboys is a game changer. I think so. Those two come to mind immediately. And
what's your thoughts on Andy Dalton to the Carolina Panthers?
Carolina picking up something. Okay, and now that
you talk about something relevant, Marlon.
I'm just asking.
Marlon just like to make sure that everybody gets their due. It's like you got to still talk.
I'll tell you why I'm not mad at that. Not because of Andy Dalton, but because of what they did today. Today they acquired Miles Sanders coming off the best year. They got Von Bell from the Cincinnati Bengals. They re-signed Shaq Thompson, right? We're not going to call it. I know the trade doesn't qualify as
but it's building your team.
Yes, they're building their team. Like so, they got off the books on DJ Moore, he was a quality player, but you get the number 1 pick. Now you get your pick of the litter when it comes to the quarterbacks. And I think there's a likingness that they have to CJ Stroud. So they put themselves in the best position to get the quarterback that they want, right? And we've seen how he performed at the combine. Like the dude was hitting people in the nose 40 yards out. And if for a struggling team to make those 4 to 5 moves so far,
And was the hottest team, one of the last hottest teams, the last 6 games of the year last year.
Yeah.
So
And you know, had they not did that bonehead stuff at the end of the year and just brought back Steve Wilkes, you know, like because the man deserved it, we would be saying that they've had a great offseason. You know what I mean?
I'll take it.
I know you will, because he's about to go do some dynamic things with that defense. Right, you know,
You get it. You know, when you come to the 49ers defense, you get a head coaching job, right?
I mean, that's what's. I hope so for that black man, man.
I mean, will Sam Darnold get new life in San Fran?
Huh?
I said, will Sam Darnold get some new life in San Fran?
There's been a debate over the last 2 days. I've been baiting over this for the last 2 days. So look,
he's with the right person though, Lito. He's with, like, think about it.
Hold on, no. You don't even got to argue with me. You're saying the same. You speak. You don't even got to say no more. You're speaking the same language. This is exactly what I said about Sam Darnold. Because somebody, and it wasn't just this person at the bottom left of my corner, it was my brother and it was my brother, basically. So why y'all get him? Yeah, you could have got something for cheaper. I had to go send out where everybody was getting paid. So we got the youngest available quarterback at a cheap price, and we have him to be available with a quarterback guru. To me, FRREE ain't really nothing. I've seen him in an offense that I feel like every QB in the league would love to have. And I felt like even second round QBs, backup QBs could have came in and looked starter-like. He looked like a Pro Bowler, like a all-pro for 10 games. So my thing is, you can plug in anybody. If you're talking about just from a QB standpoint, I don't think Sam Darnold is totally washed, and I think he's in a good situation if he wants to revive his career. That's all I got to say.
For $4 million, that's a steal.
Yeah, and you know, he's a 1-year contract, prove-it deal. You know, he's coming in as a backup because I'm pretty sure they're going to start the season with Brock Purdy.
No, trade. So Brock might not be even. He might not. We don't know what he's going to be, and he might not even be around for training camp for none of that.
Right. So, I remember you got the Tommy John, but they said 6 months. They said he'll be throwing by the time camp starts.
Yeah, but we still don't know what his arm going to look like.
But
he's not a big arm guy. He's not a big arm guy, so they're going to probably start Trey. But you need somebody to have competition with Trey during training camp.
I don't know if Trey is going to be 100%. If you ask me, I know he did get hurt week 2, week 3, but like, I don't know if Trey's going to be fully back, right? Like, and you got to understand, like, the investment that they made behind him. I'm taking the slow ride with him because, like, Brock Purdy showed, like you said, it's a QB.
But the slow ride with him, if you take a more slower ride, he won't touch. He ain't played football in 4 years.
I'm with you. I was going to get to that. That was going to be the other side of that's going to be the other side of the token for me.
I agree. So you are aware. Both of them are injured, and the question mark is we don't know who's going to be available.
I'll put it like this, Leo. I'll put it like this. We had questions about Trey Lance that we still have questions about because we haven't seen enough of them, right?
Facts.
We got Brock Purdy that we know is not the athlete, but we seen what he did in 10 games.
He can do the job.
Yes. I feel if Brock Purdy plays in that game, that last game, the 49ers are in the Super Bowl. If Brock Purdy could finish that game, they beat the Eagles.
I would agree. But hey, if it was the 5th, we all be drunk. But
that is true.
I would agree with you. I'm not even trying to be biased. I feel like you can't play no game if you can't even throw the ball.
You can't even throw the ball. And that game was still close.
It was still close until Josh Johnson
was it
that game away.
Like mid-third quarter going down.
Right.
So if you ask me, I think Brock Purdy, even with the Tommy John surgery, is going to get back sooner and they already know what he is. So Sam Darnold has a unique opportunity to come into a team, learn a playbook, get all the reps in the offseason, from mini camp all the way to training camp. Right? He does have talent. He has the biggest. He may have the he might have the better arm. He might have the biggest arm. I didn't want to disrespect Trey because I know Trey got a cannon too. He may have the biggest arm. He has mobility and he has NFL experience. And now you're taking a guy with NFL experience in multiple places. He's going to have the whole offseason to learn the whole playbook. It's not like he's coming in as a rush job, right? He learns the whole playbook, and he has the best gamut of weapons that anybody can ask for, and that he can never ask for. And then he has the maniacal genius that is the coach.
And I ain't gonna hold you. Hey, Mo got a lot of knowledge. I ain't gonna hold you. That was good. I actually enjoyed listening, and I did not cut you off. So
he did a good job, Mo. No, he was like,
yeah, I'm about to, but he was on a roll. You feel me? Like I was over here taking notes. I was like, no, I can't be mad at that answer. But here's my winner. And can I give 2 losers? Because I have two losers that I can't get off of right now.
please go. Oh, the Raiders. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Listen, don't get me started on the Raiders.
That's that Bay Area hate right there, boy.
Don't get me started on the Raiders. But I want to start with this. First winner I would say is the 49ers. Let me say the thoughts to what my boy right here sent me. Because when we were talking about Sam Darnold off air, Javon has this thing about where he wants to send all these links and screenshots, and I look and I'm like, it's kind of like Mo. It's kind of hard to argue against the facts. Those are the facts. Me and Mo going 2 days in a row about Justin Jefferson. I'm like, I can't argue the facts. That's facts, right? So then everything else just takes a sit down at Buffalo Wild Wings just to look at the film. You know what I mean? But we can do it another day. But Hargrave has a very interesting stat that Javon remind the crowd a little bit about what you said about the amount of pressure. He had more pressure to the quarterback.
He had more pressures, more QB pressures than my whole D line.
I don't want to interrupt. Because you mentioned Javon Hargrave, right? Just like in a quick 15-second synopsis, where does he fit in with Eric Armstead and Kinlaw? With the money that you paid Armstead and the investment.
Kinlaw's on the block. Kinlaw's on the block.
On the block.
Kinlaw's on the block, and don't be surprised if he get cut.
Can I answer that?
Hey, send the boy across. Send him across the country, man.
Can I answer that?
No. So what? So Ron, answer it. But I mean, if you want some inside information, Ron, go ahead.
It's important just because what the Eagles have showed us when it comes to a D line, it's the rotation. You feel me? And like if you really think about it, right? Like the Eagles kind of reminded me of the Giants when they did beat the New England Patriots. Actually, both times, right? It was how deep they were. And Mo, Marlon knows especially. If you got 8 dogs, 7 or 8, even 6, that's on rotation and they stay fresh to the fourth quarter, that is a lot to deal with, right?
I get your point on the D line, but the Giants D line wasn't super deep. They just they had a NASCAR package that they put these 4 ends. They put like these 4 ends in.
It was deep though. We had Fred Robbins. We had a couple of guys, but we did the NASCAR package was the top. The
NASCAR package was really killing the offensive line. But I will say this. I'm not gonna say they're not deep. The Eagles were deep as hell though. When it came to a line last year. My front 7 and my front line was vicious. But their line they had like 4 dudes with over 11 sacks and rotating in. Like I ain't seen a rotation like that since like 90 Cowboys and the 91 Skins when they would, it was just like you put a whole D line in and the backup was vicious. I agree with you. I would disagree.
So then my two losers. I'm not gonna lie, I think Carolina lost. Because if you're going to draft a quarterback, why take their best weapon away? And at the same time, right? Who are you moving up so far for that is that important?
Can I answer that?
Hold on.
Before you go, Mo.
Hold on. Don't answer real quick. Don't answer, right? Because I want to get to my other loser. Because the other loser is the Colts. They ain't doing it.
They ain't done yet. Not yet.
But they have. They
lost their line. Can you tell me? Before we answer? Can you explain more on why? Because I feel like you've given me a little bit on the Carolina. Give me some more in depth on why you feel that the Colts are losers.
Because you already know, first free agency is the first phase of the draft, right? You're trying to go after the top players and stuff. These first 3 days are very important. Like if you don't capitalize on some of these players of the first 3 days and stuff, you're just going to get like the back end. Like like an off-air topic, like an off-air conversation, right?
Mo, you hit your hand up first. Go ahead, Mo.
He gonna have the
Finish. I just wanted you to know I was in queue. Go ahead.
I know. You ready to run your 9-ball. I don't got time for you. Hey, Javon, get over top. I don't got time. He ain't
scoring on us.
Yeah, he's scoring on us. Mo's gonna
Watch it.
Hey, hold up, Mo. Listen, I don't know what
man.
y'all had, but if you talking, he's playing you corner, and he just told me play over top. You ain't scoring on me.
Watch it, man. Hey, man. You know how you be driving and you get your side mirror and they say objects in the mirror are closer than they appear?
Nah, I don't use those.
I mean, that's what it's like that's what it was like. It seemed like you was real close and then you realized, whoa, he got the third dollar. He got fast as he got down the field.
Hey,
listen.
Javon.
I'm not that Texans Reed and I ain't that Ravens Dion. I just want you to know I still got it.
Hey, just know this. When you see in your peripheral while I'm in front of the line of Mo, all you're gonna see is this. That's the first thing you're gonna see.
Hey, man, you got to.
Hold on.
Let's get back to the Colts. Let's get back to the Colts.
Let's get back to
Let me tell you why I don't think the Colts are losers. They lost their best player last year, right? And they had two. Right? Go ahead.
Lose is a strong word. I think they're currently losing. So let me not say they are losers because the free agency is not done. So continue.
So when I look at the Colts, they lost two players so far. They lost the linebacker that was like number 8 in the league in tackles, number 58, Okorokwa, or something like that. He has a Nigerian name.
He with the Giants.
He's kind of with the Giants. And I was excited about that pick because the Giants need a linebacker. He's of the caliber that we needed because paying the higher guys was going to put us in the upgrade linebacker. But he's the good young linebacker that's active. So I like it. But they could afford to lose him because Zaire Franklin was number 3 in the league in tackles, right? And Darius Leonard didn't step on the field. So you get Darius Leonard back next year, right? The only loss they really got on their defense is Stephon Gilmore. And why Stephon Gilmore would have been a significant loss is because they had him in the slot last year. But they also have the best slot corner in the league that didn't play many games last year in Kenny Moore. Right. So the back end of the secondary is pretty stout with Rodney McLeod back there. They got and then they got.
They didn't resign him yet, but he's up here. Continue.
Right. So when I look at it, they have like a Pro Bowler at every level of defense. They have DeForest Buckner. They have DeForest Buckner.
Pro Bowl at the middle.
They got DeForest Buckner. They got DeForest Buckner. He's an all-pro player. When Darius Leonard plays, he's an all-pro player.
Keep going.
Right? Kenny Moore was an all-pro player.
Keep going.
Slash Pro Bowler. And then Rodney and them are just good quality vets in the back, right? So you have that. But the Colts' biggest problem we know is quarterback. And it seems like they have an affinity for Will Levis. So they're in the right position to get who they want in the draft.
And to piggyback on Mo, I also think that everybody knows in the first three rounds of free agency, you overpaying for everything. And I feel like this is where the free agency market is so deep right now that sometimes you can kind of sit back and go, you know what, y'all can waste y'all money on those names right there. We're gonna go collect 3 to 4 good bodies by midweek of free agency. But they are, like he said, they already in line to get their biggest piece that they need. So why jump out there and go pay for something that you really don't need? So go wrong.
But then that's the thing where I want to get back to where I think Carolina and the Colts are similar in the sense when we talk about the draft. I'm gonna say this right now. There's no one in the NFL draft playing the quarterback. Let's take that back. There's one. Everybody, the guys that we're talking about, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, definitely Levis, because they're trying to hype him up so badly, and it's not working and stuff.
It's the Josh Allen effect, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, and it's a cool because everyone has their own grades and how to look at stuff. Those 3 guys do not wow you. They don't.
But are you looking to win immediately? Because I mean, I don't think they're looking to win.
I'm not looking to win immediately because we know, like for all franchises, like look at the Bears, right? Bears are doing things to their franchise. They just signed my man Edmonds. You know what I mean? Which was a good look. They just got.
But they overpaid him.
Yeah, overpaid.
Right.
They overpaid. I think Edmonds has a bigger name than game. You see what I'm saying? He has a bigger name than game.
Oh, let me finish. Because my overall thing, when I'm looking at, even like with the 49ers, let me get back to the winner of the 49ers, and that would explain what I'm saying about the Colts and the Panthers, right? The 49ers getting that guy makes everybody on the back end's job very much easier now, right? So now if they go out and have a good conversation with Darius Slay and say, and he gets like a little bit of the money off of his contract, they automatically jump to the number one in the NFC if you get Darius Slay. So one piece can.
I don't think so. So because I never even answered this question. Everybody answered it. I agree, Dolphins. I agree, Niners. I agree that the Bears have probably won free agency. When it comes to who I think is the losers of free agency right now, or who just making the dumbest moves at this moment, I would say the Raiders. When it comes to Carolina and it comes to the Colts, I don't really feel like they are losing in the free agency, because I feel like everybody knows exactly what they need and they're still in a position to get what they need. So let's take Carolina for instance, right? Carolina.
I think New Orleans.
Can I sprinkle some more sugar
big
on what
loser right
you're
now.
selling there, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
With Carolina and the Colts, Ron, you have to, like, with the Colts, let me start with the Colts. The Colts is more so they were hurt last year. Jonathan Taylor missed a lot of games last year. Shaq Leonard missed a lot of games last year. Quentin Nelson missed a lot of games last year.
I don't even think Buckner played. I don't even think Buckner played all 7
and Kenny Moore missed a lot of games last year. So you have a lot of veterans that are former All-Pros or Pro Bowlers that are coming back. So that's like an addition. The Colts really don't have that many holes. They just need to figure out quarterback. If they figure out quarterback, since Andrew Luck retired, if they figure out quarterback, they're pretty solid. And the division ain't really that.
It's easy.
Yeah, because like the Titans.
Say it right, Mo. You ain't want to say it. It's easy.
The Titans are on the way down. We don't know if Jacksonville can repeat, and we know Houston's going to be contending for the third pick in the draft again next year.
All right, Mo, you won that one. Move on. You won
okay.
That one.
So then we go to so we got that's Colts. So Carolina. My thing with Carolina is Carolina also needs a quarterback, right? You right in the fact that they got rid of their best weapon, but Carolina has a lot of picks, right? Carolina has a lot of picks, and wide receiver ain't a hard thing to go find. Like if you can get one of the top 2 quarterbacks in this draft, yes, they're not what Ron wants this quarterback. You know, every quarterback draft is not going to be like the Andrew Luck draft where he's about to be an all-pro for the next 15 years. But CJ Stroud has tools. And if you don't like him, or if Bryce Young wows you at his pro day, I know why they want Stroud over Bryce Young is the stature. Because the arm seems to be the same. And it's arguable they both play with elite weaponry on the outside in college. Both of them. CJ Stroud just happened to be in his junior year, and Bryce's wide receiver group wasn't that great this year. His was too, right?
Can I add something to what he's talking about in Carolina? DJ Moore is a great weapon, but he's not a true route running wide receiver. I think he's expendable.
He's not a universal number one.
Yes.
Not a universal number one.
Let me say that.
He's a number one for Carolina, and he's a good weapon for sure. But he's not a universal number one. Because Ron,
I think the guy Marshall, and it's another wide receiver that was coming along last year.
Chenault.
And I think and they just traded for Chenault at the end of the season. So they got a couple of pieces.
Not the greatest pieces, Ron. I give you that. But like you can add, this draft is deep and kind of deep at wide receiver. You can go
add that.
I'm not gonna lie. You know my problem is. I forget that you're my boy because you start saying some stuff and I'm your enemy. Because
if you don't get your fighting emotional spirit off of here.
Let's just mentally spar, man. Come on. Let's think about putting a team together though, Ron. Let's think about putting a team together. Carolina last year. Think about Carolina. Let me finish this one real quick. Carolina last year. Steve Wilkes took this team from Matt Rule, right? And they were not performing well. And in them last 7 games, he had them in contention to win that division. Tom Brady pulled the old rabbit out the hat again because Tom Brady will always do that, right? But Carolina was one game from winning that division. So they're not that bad. They got Jeremy Chin on the defense. You got the two young corners. You got Shaq Thompson in the middle. You got a
defense is not terrible.
D-line. So the defense is where it needs to be. You got Burns on the D-line still, right? And they just added Von Bell to that. They're gonna get Action Jackson back from LSU, the corner. You're gonna get JC Horn for a full season, right? Right? You're gonna get JC Horn for a full season. So
and
now
you got draft picks, so you just build around that.
right. So all you have to do is do it on the other side. Last year they took the kid, the Mauler from North Carolina State at guard.
I'm sorry. No disrespect to our conversation. I don't want to disrespect y'all. We spending a lot of time talking about teams that I don't think all of us really feel are losers, but maybe one. Do y'all not feel the Raiders situation?
I think that's something that that's what they call it, low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? I think the Raiders are low hanging fruit. Like he brought in.
I think New Orleans overpaid, bro.
Yeah, come on, bro. Like
they offloaded Derek Carr's contract. They got some room to do some stuff.
You got rid of Derek Carr to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo. That's not an upgrade. You got rid of.
It's a better fit, not an upgrade.
Hey, if
I think so.
Only a better fit because
he knows the system.
We drafted you. You know us. We know you.
Hey, if I'm Adams, if I'm Jacobs, I just got the goddamn swine flu.
No, if I'm Adams and I already know that this dude struggled to throw routes to his wide receivers, and he doesn't throw the ball deep. Everything is in the middle, and you just get rid of that. So if you know he throws to the tight end and he throws everything in the middle, and you get rid of Waller, I understand that the draft is deep with tight ends.
Right?
Hold on. Don't do that though. Because remember we had the conversation about why Shanahan got Sam Darnold. McDaniels has history with Jimmy G. So don't.
No, I just said that. I just said they know each other. He McDaniels drafted him. I know that. What I'm saying for the wide receiver,
because he knows him and he knows his strengths is thrown to the tight end. Why would you get rid of the biggest mismatch on the field, which is Darren Waller? No matter if Devontae Adams out there.
That part didn't make no sense. I agree with that part.
But I was speaking on Devontae Adams' frustration, saying this is the quarterback you're gonna go get. I came here for this quarterback, and then you give me a quarterback that barely can give me the ball where I want the ball.
But you also, Devontae Adams is an unlimited route tree, right? And because of his unlimited route tree, he's going to get fed regardless. Like the deep ball may not be he may not get as many deep shots anymore. But Devontae Adams really makes his work intermediary, and that's where he thrives, and that's where Jimmy thrives, right? So the Patriots' offense is a timing offense.
Jimmy got in the middle though. Outside, if Devontae is running those back shoulder routes and all that, but you don't have the arm talent for that.
I think it's that way, Lito, because you guys also did not have a significant route runner on the outside. I don't think Deebo Samuel is a significant route runner. Deebo Samuel's not going to kill you just running routes up and down.
When we had Emmanuel Sanders, Emmanuel Sanders? I mean, and Ayuk is a route.
Ayuk is a boy now. Don't get me wrong.
And Ayuk couldn't get the ball.
He just came into his own this season. He's been in a doghouse. He's been trying to figure it out.
Do you know why he was in the doghouse? Because he was team trade. He didn't want to play with Jimmy. Soon as Jimmy, remember at the end of the year, we thought Jimmy was gone last year. He goes and tweet, damn, now I can finally get the deep ball. Hey, come on, bro. Like, I'm aware. I've been watching this dude for years.
For sure.
And before you switch,
and I'm not knocking nobody. Go wrong.
Hey, before you switch topics, though, do not be surprised if Carolina picks up Richardson from Florida.
No, absolutely not. The kid been playing. Ron, he been playing quarterback. He been playing quarterback for 2 years. That'd be the worst decision of the first round. That kid is not.
Time out. Let's not say that because the 49ers just picked up a dude, Trey Lance, who barely played ball too, and he went top 5.
Right. He barely played ball, but he's always been a quarterback.
Yeah.
But
that's a difference. He's
always been a
quarterback. No. Y'all got two good points. Hold on.
Ron, he's always been a quarterback.
Listen. One is saying that one has played the position only 2 years and has limited experience, and one is saying one has played against a different level of competition. Two different things. Two good points.
If you take that kid in the top 10, you have reached, and you're going to lose, and you're going to lose it. You're not going to be there by the time he sees the end of his first contract as the coach.
And the 49ers are only not looking terrible is because they had a number 3 come in and look great.
Yeah. So then, can I finish my Carolina point, please?
Go ahead.
No.
CJ Stroud. If you get CJ Stroud, and you talk about the weaponry, this is a receiver draft that's going to be heavy in the second round. Addison is going to be available from USC. The tall kid from TCU is going to be there. The tall kid from West Virginia is going to be there. The kid from Texas is going to be there. It's a lot of kids coming out that can play football at the receiver position that they can get to go with CJ Stroud, plus Miles Sanders, plus the young tight end that they got 2 years ago that's playing well last year, did a little bit thing. But they can get a weapon that's, I'm not saying they're DJ Moore, but I'm saying that they can get.
So this is why I keep you on the coaches edition when it comes to pod and stuff, because you're very right, but you forget how this draft stuff really works stuff, because you're naming dudes that's going to come off the board in the first round.
I don't think Addison's coming off the board. It's a lot. Addison just ran a 4.5 at the combine. He didn't finish the workout.
But hold on. But think about this. But think about this though. Remember, think about this, right? For how we can also say how weak this draft class is too when it comes to receiver position too, right? So what you're saying about what he's putting up at the combine, right? This be real. This is a weak wide receiver draft, right? This being weak, that 4.5 is not important. He's arguably a top 3 wide receiver who's going to go in the back end of the draft between 15 and 32, who's going to go win. Plus,
remember, Carolina has a top 10 pick in every round.
Yeah.
It's not a team that's like a 25th pick. They're right in the midst of it, right? So Carolina now has the first pick, right? Okay,
which means that they got the first pick, they got the 31st or 32, they can move back up in the first round.
Truly the best receiver in this draft didn't even play last year. Jackson Smith and Jigba. He didn't even play last year.
But that's another conversation for another day. That's another conversation for another day. Because
he'll be there.
Because my overall thing, when we keep talking about these quarterbacks in college, we really have to look at the foundation. We got to really look at the competition, like how we talked about Trey Lance and stuff. That plays a factor for these other places and stuff. Because think about this, right? Like I was talking about this with Greg. Well, I was talking about this with Greg. We was talking about a client because this kid reminds us of the kid who's come out of Boston College, the dude Zay Flowers. We were talking about the dude Zay Flowers, right? We are now in a time of football where you can be untraditional when it comes to running routes, and you don't have to be traditional no more. For an example, you was talking about DJ Moore. So let me hurry with my take because I'm trying to get to the next topic. Well, Javon's trying to get to the next topic. When we're talking about guys like,
I don't even know what the next topic is. We didn't got in this joint so far. What is next?
Oh, my bad. When we talk about guys like CJ Stroud, we talk about guys like Bryce Young. Let's also keep in mind when they're throwing these balls to these guys and everything, how much separation they're making from corners and stuff. Now let's get to the NFL. A lot of these dudes ain't making those same type of separations no more. So that's why, like, when you get to these receivers that you're talking about and everything, right? Addison is probably
the best route runner. The best route runner.
Second behind the dude from Ohio State. The dude from Ohio State runs routes.
Right. Do you think that Carolina is expecting to just turn around and be in the playoffs next year? I mean, or just trying to win the division?
No. So that's why, like, I let Mo take the floor because Mo was sounding really good. No, you were. You sounded really good. I'm not gonna lie. You sounded really good. I was actually
looking at it from a team building. I get your point.
I'm just saying, based on what I'm seeing off the free agency, he made a great point about the Colts. So let's get off the Colts. You're right about the Colts because I forgot how much injuries they had. But let's get to Carolina. I don't feel like anything that they picked up is going to make any type of moves this year, but you'll see it probably in the next 2 to 3 years. maybe health, maybe coaching and coordinating and stuff. And again, with them getting the first pick, I don't think there's anyone at the first pick that's so much of a wow factor that he needs to be the first pick.
Okay, so you're just not wild about a quarterback. So I get that. I get that about you, right? But like, if this team won 7 games toward the end of 7 out of the last 9 or whatever towards the end of the year, made a push for the playoffs last year with that roster, they've improved the defense, right? They've improved the defense with 2 players. They add Miles Sanders. You add the quarterback play last year wasn't great. It was they played the kid from Temple last year, didn't they? They played Mayfield.
They played Baker. They played Donald.
They played PJ Walker.
Walker, what's the dude? PJ Walker.
And they played PJ Walker, Ron. So if you're telling me that CJ Stroud can't come in and do what they did,
no. I'm not saying that he can't. I'm not saying that he can't.
You question. This is what you did. You questioned the competition. You questioned the separation, right? How big are the Big Ten is the second best conference in college football. They're Power 5, right? CJ Stroud has played all the teams that he needs to play. He's played in the Rose Bowl, right? He's made the college football playoffs. He can make all of the throws, like just on air and in pads. We've seen him make all of the throws. Like he may not be a number 1 pick equivalent to a number 1 pick in the past, but like he's a pretty damn good kid coming out of college.
He's a good talent. He's a good talent at the quarterback.
He's a good talent. And if you get all you need is some people around him, and he'll figure it out eventually.
Let me just say this one thing that you and I can agree on. If it wasn't for that game that he had against Georgia, we would not be talking about him over Bryce.
No, the only reason they want him over Bryce, I don't think he's better than Bryce.
No. I'm not talking about they. I'm talking about you and I, because we know what they're going to do. But I'm talking about you and I. And like you and I.
Bryce is the number 1 quarterback in the draft. Bryce is the number 1 quarterback. I don't care how nobody wants to dice it up. Bryce has been throwing 60 yards since he was 7th grade and 5'6" in the air. So I think Bryce is the best quarterback in the draft. They just want CJ because they want a prototype kind of quarterback. Bryce,
you said that earlier that they would probably pick him based off body
reason.
type.
Like the arms are almost equal, and he's 6'4". They're going to go with the kid that's 6'4". So I can understand that. That's a preference. That doesn't mean he's the better player. Bryce Young is definitely the better player.
That's just going to be, when you sitting here buying product, you just think that one's going to stand up or hold up a little longer based on size.
Yeah,
so if the arm talent is not overwhelming, then I'm going to go with the person who's bigger.
They're looking like, all right, we don't have the greatest offensive line. We put Bryce back there. He might get himself broke up. Let's get the bigger guy. Let's get the guy that is more likely to run, even though both of them don't run much. CJ will run first before Bryce will run.
All I gotta say is this to you, Mo. Keep that same energy when we're on the coaches edition, okay? That's all I gotta say.
All right, man. But that was my point. That was my point there. You can and even though this is not the other thing you said was this is not a great wide receiver draft. I think this draft is deep at other positions. It doesn't mean that the wide receivers aren't good.
Yes.
And that's why wide receivers are good. And that's, I get you, and that's why a lot of wide receivers are going to fall in the 2nd round. And if you look historically over the last 5-6 years, like let's take it back to Odell's draft. The better receivers are the ones that came in the 2nd round. Devontae Adams is a 2nd round pick in Odell's draft.
Yeah,
but a lot of the best players come in the 2nd round.
That was
4 years ago in the AJ Brown, Deebo Samuel's draft, they're all 2nd rounders. The 1st rounders in there are not better than Deebo. They're not better than AJ Brown. They're not better than DK Metcalf. Like Terry McLaurin was a 4th round pick or 3rd round pick. Like
he went after all of them.
Huh?
No, you're big facts. No, you're big facts. I'm not debating that. I'm not debating.
So like the kid from TCU is not he's not a 1st rounder. He's 6'4", but he's not a 1st rounder. I don't feel like you're a 1st round wide receiver if you didn't dominate college football. You see what I'm saying? He had like 900 yards. He was a big target. He's a big red zone presence. Somebody's going to reach for him because he's 6'4", 220, right? And he got some talent. But like, I don't see too many teams reaching for him. He's going to be available right there in the. If some people are going to take I don't know. Jackson Smith and Jigba went crazy at the combine. He did everything but the 40. Once he runs this 40, but I think a lot of people are thinking of him as a slot. So that might bump him into the 2nd round because there's nobody drafting a slot wide receiver in the 1st round.
I think he goes.
Unless you're dumb.
The Ravens.
Unless
think
you're
he might-
dumb like the Raiders when they took
Ravens.
Henry Ruggs.
No, Ravens.
Or
instead of-
or Hollywood.
Ravens. I think the
But
Ravens.
Hollywood put up stupid numbers on the outside in college.
Don't get me started on Hollywood. Don't get me started on
Fair
him.
enough, man. Next topic. I'm off my soapbox.
What's your next topic, Ron?
What's my next topic? Hey, what y'all think about the XFL? Have y'all been watching the XFL?
Here and there, yeah.
Have y'all been watching some of how they be doing stuff like the kickoff and stuff? That shit gave me the heebie-jeebies. I was like, if you cannot win your one-on-one,
Somebody's getting crushed.
Yeah.
yes.
Can I tell you what I like about it though? I watched the first game, right? I watched whatever team AJ McCarron plays for. They were down 11 with like 4 minutes to go, right? They drive down the field, they score. They go for two. They go for two, right? So now when they go for two, that's 8. They have a thing where you don't onside kick. You get a 4th and 15, and if you can convert the 4th and 15, you get the ball from the spot that you caught the 4th and 15 at. So Aaron McCarron gets the ball. He rolls out right. He throws the ball to, remember Ricky Pro from The Greatest Show on Turf?
Yeah.
Right, receiver. His son went to Eastern Carolina. His son runs a post corner. Yeah, you know, most people don't run post corners no more. Runs a post corner. It takes forever for the route to open. Man, AJ McCarron splits the safety in the corner on the sideline, toe drag swag like Nate Burleson to say, gets the 4th and 15. They get the ball back from the spot, right? Like a minute left. AJ McCarron drives down the field. They score. And they go for 2 again. They win the game like at end of regulation. It was the most exciting 3.5 minutes of football I've ever seen when the other team didn't get the ball back. So I think they're on to something right there. They're on to something right there because the onside kick percentages is like 0.000875432 right? I'm going to take this 4th and 15. I'm going to put my best athletes on the field. Defenses are going to get scared because they got to protect. It's from my 25. So defense has got to protect the far half of the field. Now you got to decide whether you're going to play prevent, cover 4, or you're going to try to man up. I'm sending that motion immediately to figure out what you're doing. I'm putting 3-4 receivers on the field. I'm spilling the running back out the back. If I got a good tight end, I'm putting him in the route.
Yeah.
And now you got to cover everything. So now everybody looks like, I looked at them and I was like, that's the San Francisco 49ers play right there. I swear to God.
Somebody gonna be open. It's gonna be a mismatch somewhere.
It's gonna be a mismatch. So he sent everybody out on the route. He sent everybody out on 4th and 15, which you should because it's a 1 down play, right?
Yeah.
Man, when they caught the ball, I was like, yo, this could work in the NFL. This could work with the quality of quarterback play that we see. And like the situations we've seen great quarterbacks not come back from because they couldn't get that onside or they couldn't get that extra possession. Man.
Is it? But hold on. Actually, no. This is actually Maul's topic. Maul, who did you watch?
I mean, I was watching highlights of everything. So I saw parts of the AJ McCarron as well as other ones too, like the first ever kickoff return. So I do like that. It encourages more offense to happen. 35-second clock on a play clock. So you can't sit there for 40 seconds like usual. I mean, a little bit quicker. I do like they just like interesting stuff. Double forward passes, the 1, 2, or 3. There are no field goals where you're going for extra points. So 1, 2, or 3, and if somebody returns it, they either get the 1, 2, or 3. So if I pick you off, I can essentially get 3 points.
So you get to pick. So you get to pick you get to pick what kind of conversion you want. If you want the 1 point conversion, I think you start like the what's it like the 5 or something like. So it gets further and further back based on the amount of points you want.
2, 5, and 10.
Yeah,
it's almost like NFL flag football. The further back, the more points you can get. Almost like
it's cool. It's cool, man. It's kind of like how we watch a 3-point shootout and they got that extra shot back there. It's like you've been arrested.
It's adding that money ball to it.
Right.
It's adding
gives you an extra point or something like that. And it's like
you're essentially always in the game.
You're essentially always in the game. It's an exciting brand of football. And I can only imagine if we got the top tier talent to play that brand of football, how much better it would look. You know what I mean? Because you're talking
you already
about
know it's gonna look way more better with the top.
It's gonna look way better. You're talking about guys that couldn't make the NFL, or some guys that made the NFL and couldn't stick on, or some guys that were really good in college, some walk-ons or whatever. But like it's not bad, man. And like The Rock, really has really good plans with it. He wants to make it a feeder system. He just wants to see, you know, they have to sustain. I think they have to sustain like 2 or 3 years because they imploded once before. So he's trying to sustain it financially for 2 to 3 years, and he wants to make it a feeder system to the NFL because, like, just like the USFL last year, Kayvon Turpin that made an impact for the Dallas Cowboys. So now you can have 2 spring leagues. You can have more players get more chance to develop and build on their game. And
you have a farming system where you can go get players. They proven.
Pro football is the only American professional sport that doesn't have a farm system outside of college.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they got guys that are getting second chances. Josh Gordon, he's in the XFL.
Right.
Second chance.
So, like,
Right.
second chance, third chances in his case.